Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Windy City Breeze coming you guys' way. Very interesting situation with the Joe Brady getting hired up in Buffalo. Seems like that is a done deal. And with that being the case, the Chicago Bears have something to offer. We'll talk about that and more coming up next. Let's go. Pat the Designer P Kid in the building, pettiest man alive. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. As always, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Kid, what's going on, my boy?
Man, I'm great. How about you?
I'm cold. It's cold down here, dog. I had my old man sweater on earlier, had a blanket over the lap, hands crossed. I was looking real old. It was bad. I wanted some soup. You know what I mean? A good soup.
You had the soup, hot cup of coffee?
Yeah, for some reason, I had the urge to go just sweep the driveway, just brush the snow off. It's no snow there, but just brush the snow off. Yeah, I mean, it's all good, though.
You have to feel productive. It's all right.
Hey, I thought this was very interesting. Joe Brady getting hired up in Buffalo as the head coach of that team. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what that team does moving forward. But the first thing I thought was, well, Joe Brady, very offensive-minded guy, of course, the former OC on that team. And is he thrilled with the wide receiving core that we have? As Cam Newton said, some of the pieces up there are playing like a bum. That mess was hilarious. I don't know what made him do that, but every time I see the edit, it cracks me up with Keon Coleman. But I looked at it and I was like, okay, is there something that the Chicago Bears could possibly offer that they would be interested in? Because the theme of this offseason is the Bears finding ways to free up cap. And I think that the Bears trading DJ Moore, if they were to move on from him, although Antoine Randall spoke very glowingly of DJ Moore yesterday, but if they were to move on from him, that could be a real spot for him moving forward. Now, it would be tough cap-wise, but they're kind of at a point that we've talked about the Rams with, where you're in this F them picks, figure the cap out as it comes. You need to get talented players on this team because he doesn't get the leeway that a lot of coaches get, where you come in and it's learn the scheme and figure out the system and figure out, okay, well, what do we want to do here? How is this going to work? Josh Allen knows your system.
Yep.
Josh Allen knows your standards. You have worked with him before. You have to get this done pretty quickly. And I bet you that they are looking for a guy that can come in and be a number one wide receiver up there for them moving forward. And that's where the DJ Moore conversation becomes interesting to me, with Josh Allen paired up with DJ Moore. I think it gets DJ in a situation where he's a clear-cut number one. He's going to get the football a ton. He's going to get to show what he can do. And for those people that believe that he's not engaged at times because of that, maybe that's something that you see benefit him moving forward. Kid, if Buffalo were interested, would you look to move DJ Moore there? Possibly for a Greg Rousseau, maybe. I mean, you got to get some answers on this pass rush. Greg Rousseau would help us. DJ Moore would help them. What are your thoughts?
I like the approach with it simply because, like you mentioned, Joe and Josh, they're in a win now situation no matter what. The pressure on Josh Allen right now is, he's either the NFL's golden boy. You can't say nothing about him, but he's always coming short. Like you have to do something. And so that organization has to put somebody around him. And they tried to, didn't quite work out. They tried to make moves with certain picks, didn't quite work out. Like you said, you're playing like a bum.
They're going to cut you,
right? And when you have that situation, it's like, hey, who's out there that's willing to, who has a plethora of talent? And we know that we have a plethora of talent at the wide receiver position that could come in and have an immediate impact. DJ Moore's a big yak guy, you could put him in any position on the field, slot, deep, whatever. He has the ability to do it. And so this is actually, I think this would be a win-win because we're lacking on our defensive end.
Yeah.
And the way that Ryan Poles worded it, it doesn't seem like he's willing to take that big swing and take the risk to put the team in a situation where it's bang or bust. He really wants to build methodically. It is not the name we want, but I think Greg Rousseau, like we mentioned it, we talked about this offline. 8 sacks last season.
Yep.
Has pretty much been around 8 sacks a game. 8 sacks a season. You pair that with Montez Sweat. No, we may not have that one Myles Garrett, but we could have a complete, set or a plethora of talent on our defensive line that can make us competitive. So I think it works out for both teams, seeing that it will fill a need that we both have.
Now, a trade I thought about the Bears possibly making. Now, this would put the Bills into a tough cap spot just based off what we see now. We don't know what players they will move on from, how they would restructure deals to help the cap. Right? That's kind of the part that sometimes you see done afterwards once a player is brought into the building. But if the Bears were to trade DJ Moore, and this trade does work, if the Bears were to trade DJ Moore for Greg Rousseau, and maybe you can convince him to give a pickup in there, add some draft capital, like Kid said there. I think that would address a couple of different things for the Chicago Bears defensive line. You're getting a pass rusher who's been pretty good in the pass and in the run, a young pass rusher back. You're sending them a number one option at that wide receiver spot, and a wide receiver spot that they need a ton of help in there. So it's a win-win in that sense. Cap-wise, though, it would definitely hurt Buffalo to take on DJ Moore. The net cap would be $40 million over the cap. Of course, we know that they would find a way to finagle that. The dead money is realistically where that would change, where it would affect them the most going into 2026, $28 million in dead cap, but there is zero in dead cap moving forward. So I'm not saying that it would be a done deal. It's an obvious move that you have to make, but I thought it was one where if you're going all in, this is how you do all in moves. Yes, you're going to have to move on from some pieces that maybe after what we saw this season, you were looking to move on from anyway if you're Buffalo. And realistically, this is a move that gets back the Bears a little bit of money, addresses a pass rush situation that you already have, and if you can add some draft capital in there as well, right? Because to me, asking for a third or a fourth round pick, that's also more opportunities for you to go out and draft more pass rushers, because while Greg Rousseau would be a nice fit here in Chicago, he is going to be costly at some point. He's 25 years old, so you got a nice amount of time there. In some ways that the Bears could help Buffalo in that is by restructuring deals and different things to make that work with Greg Rousseau. And you would more than likely try and extend him at some point on this team if you're trading for him. I just think that it would be a win-win scenario for both teams because you're getting a clear-cut answer that Josh Allen needs, which is the most important thing at this point, right? Like, we can sit here and talk about the playoff game all we want. Josh Allen played bad, 4 interceptions. It was a turnover fest.
He played bad.
There was not a lot of help for him. And I'm not sitting here giving him an excuse for that. I think he had a phenomenal run game that they didn't lean on enough. I thought that he had a great offensive line to help him out in a lot of these scenarios. And listen, I was going to say at first, when I was looking at this at first, I was like, send me Deion Dawkins for a year. I'll take that at my left tackle. Let me get your left tackle off of you. But that's not realistic. That's not realistic at all. But like, I looked at that and I saw a guy who he can't throw and catch. That was the feeling I had when I left that game. You can't, now don't throw it into triple coverage, but he also can't throw and catch. And I think bringing a guy in like DJ Moore would really help them out this offseason.
I'm with you. And this is the first time I'll say, first time out of all the losses he's had, where it was clear that this was the worst team that he had dragged to the playoffs. And I don't want to say the word that they had a good record, but like you saw the deficiencies as opposed to any other team that he's been on, all the other talent that they've had, even at the wide receiver position. This is just not it. And so the one thing I like about this conversation is it's not pie in the sky. Like, this is not one of those Madden trades or one of those like
kind of feels like that with the cap a little bit. But again, we don't know what Buffalo's going to do with this offseason.
But honestly, it's not like you're making a wild offer. Like, you're actually feeling a need. This is, this is all subjective. Like, and this is all speculation. Like, we're all, we're always going to try to put our team in the best position as possible. But this is this is one of the best win-win situations we've come up with in a while for trade potential, because he doesn't have a number one.
Yeah.
He doesn't have anyone he can depend on to actually go out and make a play like that. DJ Moore does that. And we just so happen to have Rome, Luther. I mean,
you've got the answers. Yeah, we
have enough. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of, and by no means should this video be taken as, oh, we need to get rid of DJ. We have deficiencies. He's valuable and he's of value. People around the league would want what he can provide. That's actually a great position to be in as a player who's been in the league as long as he's been in the league. Why don't we give him what he wants and the opportunity to still compete for a championship while also filling the needs that we have? And I think this is the best win-win all the way around. And
that's the other thing I will say, right? Like, DJ Moore is not getting traded to a bum team, right? As much as we say, could you trade DJ Moore to the Raiders? Ryan Poles has done a pretty good job of trading guys to spots where they feel like they could be comfortable. Remember, he tried to trade Justin Fields to Atlanta, which was his hometown team. Atlanta just they felt like they were going in a different direction there. Remember, he traded him to Pittsburgh, where he was like, "This is a spot where you can go and feel
play.
good." And even with that bum Chase Claypool, he traded him down to Miami and said, "Bet we're going to trade you to a spot where you can be in an offense that should utilize you a ton." That's up to you whether you get used there. We haven't really seen Ryan Poles trade guys to teams that it doesn't seem like there's a pathway for them to go be successful. So I think that plays into this as well. I love the fact that you bring up the point around Luther Burden and Colston Loveland and Roma Dunze and guys like that being here with Antoine Randall, who it seems like is going to be sticking around here in Chicago. There's development that has to happen with your young pieces. And so with all of those together, you know, again, I keep saying this, right? The cap is the one thing that makes it feel a little bit pie in the sky for me. But realistically, we've seen teams do some phenomenal things with the cap. And Buffalo is in a position to be San Francisco, to be the Rams, to be Philly, where they have used deferred money to really basically do what the Dodgers are doing, right? Like, essentially, we're going to add all of these void years. And then when we get to those void years, we're going to pay you those void years. We're going to renegotiate again, and we're going to add more void years on that mug. They don't want to get rid of Josh Allen. They don't want to move on from James Cook. They want to have those guys as answers. And so I think there would be some restructuring, some finagling of the cap that would have to happen, but that may have to happen anyway to make sure that you keep talent and are able to add talent to this team. And I think we're seeing the one spot that Buffalo had a blind spot at this year was, and I know they kind of framed it as, well, now he doesn't have to just force feed the ball to Stephon Diggs and he can get the ball to anybody. Well, you need anybody to be somebody that you can count on in the clutch. DJ Moore's done that multiple times this year. He's had great hands, and he is okay being the guy that maybe today ain't my day. Maybe I'm on the back burner today. With Josh Allen, you're going to have less of those days, but it's not going to be DJ Moore running up to Josh Allen going, "You got to get me the ball, pass me the ball." That's what we were seeing Stephon Diggs do at times, and I think that is that's a situation that makes it tough for you. On top of that, and maybe an under-talked about conversation and all of it, Buffalo a crazy place to play when it get cold up there, dog.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody that's a little bit used to that.
You got to, yeah. You ain't taking no Miami kids going up there. That's not finna happen. And it ain't going well. So maybe that's why Keon's having a hard time. Maybe that's
it's probably the cookies. It's more than likely the cookies.
And the Macy's coats.
Yeah, the Macy's coats and the cookies. Them coats was hard. I wonder if them coats still at Macy's. Them was some decent winter coats.
Decent coats.
I might have to cop one.
Let me ask you this real quick, though. Is there any other person or any other team that's made some recent moves that you would consider having this conversation with? That's not Raiders, and I get that, but I'm talking about decent production at the defensive end. 8, 9, maybe 10 sacks that could be a great add-on.
Well, listen,
for this type of conversation.
I mean, they've continued to say they're never going to get rid of them, and I have a tendency to believe them. But if there's any way on God's green earth, because it's not just edge rushers you need. Listen, Javon Dexter's not good enough. Say the quiet part out loud. He's not good enough. He's fine. He's a rotation piece.
He had a good. He showed up late.
He's a rotation piece. He doesn't create enough pressure in the middle. He doesn't get to the quarterback enough. And I get it. He's a nose tackle. Like I wouldn't worry about him with the sack numbers if the pocket was consistently getting dented and quarterbacks were having to force themselves outside to Montez Sweat. That's not what we're seeing. We're seeing quarterbacks get a chance to live, step up in the pocket, live in the middle of that pocket, hang out in the middle of that pocket. They shake hands with them, and then they throw the football, right? Like, so you need to fix that position as well. You're probably not going to move on from Javon, but with the changes that just happened in Tennessee with Brian Daboll coming over there, you're going to need a quarterback up there as well to try and help you. I'm sorry, a wide receiver up there to try and help you develop another young quarterback. Now, again, that would be tough because what we've talked about, right? Ben Johnson, Ryan Poles hasn't really sent guys to terrible teams. He hasn't sent guys to rebuilding teams that need to figure it out and need a veteran leader. I don't know if he would do that with DJ Moore, but if you told me that I could get a Jeffrey Simmons for DJ Moore, listen, you can sign me up all day. You can sign me up all day and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, no, the likelihood of that I think is low. I think they'd be stupid to do that one. I think he's their best player. He's their best player.
He is their best player.
He's their best player.
He 100%. Like it's not
even close.
It's not a question of it. Now, sometimes to get what you need, you got to give something up. And their new best player would be DJ Moore. The goal of this is to develop Cam Ward, is it not? You have to put your quarterback in a position where he can be successful and where he can develop. Let me see real quick.
Cam Ward doesn't have a line.
Because we didn't look this one up ahead of time. So that cap
I kind of threw that wrench in there too. That's my fault.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Jeffrey Simmons, if he was traded, his dead cap will be 10 million. DJ Moore's dead cap is 12 million. That would put the Titans 22 million over the cap. Again, we don't know what moves they're going to make yet. This is just with the current roster. That will put the Bears 22 million over the cap. And again, we don't know what moves the Bears are going to make at this point. This is just with the current rosters. You would have to restructure some deals here. You would still have to address it in the draft. If you told me you could do it straight up, I would love it. I would live for it. I would be incredibly excited by it. I think that would be one that Tennessee would be dumb as heck to do.
I got to ask this question. I got to preface this because I know it's going to be some people in the chat like, that's a dumb question. Just on the other. All right, listen. Just rock with me for a second. What makes Jeffrey Simmons a better option than Greg Rousseau?
Jeffrey Simmons continuously dents the pocket, is a monster in the middle, and is one of the best pass rushers in football from an interior position. He's essentially new Aaron Donald.
Okay.
Yeah, like he's a monster. Like he would be. He instantly becomes the focal point of your defense. Like Montez Sweat, 10 sacks, cute. He instantly becomes the person on your defense. He chased Caleb Williams around.
He did chase Caleb Williams around
a lot and caught him.
The reason I ask is because when I look at Jeffrey Simmons, I'm like, that's going to work. That's going to be a lot more money.
I'll tell you
eventually that's going to be a lot more money. And I'm like, is the juice worth the squeeze on that? Like, is the money that we're going to have to commit to him long term eventually worth, it's kind of like the whole Max Crosby thing. Like, you can get him, it's probably have a great impact, but you're going to be committing a lot of money to somebody.
Jeffrey Simmons is so good, I would send a pick with DJ Moore. I would just put it in his hand as we sent them on the plane. I would be like, make sure that they get this pick.
Hey, DJ. Just put this in your pocket.
Hey, just put this third round pick in your pocket.
It's gonna be okay.
You just make sure they get this pick.
You know how your grandma used to slide you the money as she hugged you and shook your hand. Yeah. That'd be one of those. Just make sure they get that.
That's one. Yeah, I would. He'd be King Poles again. And again, listen, like I feel like I keep saying this. There's a lot you have to work out cap wise with it, but like that would be a move that we would walk out of here going, oh my God, you did it. Like you got to still address it in the draft, but now you can focus in on edge rusher in the draft. You've got Shamar Turner who could play next to him, hopefully next season if he has a healthy year. You've got pieces on the team already that maybe you move on from another piece and you find a way to make some additions there. But like,
is that the best way to go? If you, and again, just having a conversation, thinking out loud and really trying to, I really start to get into like how you build a team and stuff like that. So I'm getting kind of nerdy here. Is it better to have a great tackle and an average edge, or a great edge and average tackle?
It's better for you to have a great tackle, because a great tackle makes your edge's life easier. A great tackle forces the quarterback to your edge. Right, like the big issue with Montez Sweat, realistically, is that, and I'm not saying that we don't need to see more from him off of the edge. I think he's been better, and I think his tape would show you that he's better than maybe what some people have believed him to be. But he doesn't create enough pressure on his own, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking, though, he probably could be a 12 to 15 sack guy if there was pressure from the middle and the quarterback was forced a little bit more to the outside and he's in the reach of Montez Sweat. Quarterbacks that are uncomfortable make edges life's great. Now, some guys you could just, like Myles Garrett, it don't matter, right? There's a person in front of me, not really. Get out the way, I'm going to kill you, quarterback.
Yeah, that's Myles Garrett, though.
But for a lot of
it's like
these
3-4 guys that we can say that about.
100%. But think about, I'll give you a prime example. Leonard Floyd was fine. He was fine. And then you stood him next to Aaron Donald, and all of a sudden you were like, yo, this mother getting like 12 and a half, 13 sacks.
But he's getting enough pressure to get.
Everybody's running away from Aaron.
Yeah.
Said Hut? No. But then you end up running right into Leonard Floyd. So I think that that is the example. If you gave me a scenario that I think is more realistic, I would say the Bills situation because they're closer.
Yeah.
They are in a we need to find a way to win now mode. And with them adding to their cap, they can restructure deals and start to play the game like Philly is. I think Jalen Hurts' void years are like 10 void years. It's not that many, but like it's a lot. It's probably 5 void years where you basically are pushing that money forward. You probably have to do that with Josh Allen. You probably have to do that with Deion Dawkins. You probably have to do that with, like some of your big money players that are on that team. That to me is more feasible than the Tennessee Titans that are at the beginning of a rebuild going, we're going all in on DJ Moore because maybe Cam Ward is talented. Now, I can't say we haven't seen a team do that because even though it benefited the Bears got way more back in draft capital and stuff like that. But that's kind of the situation that we put Justin Fields in, right? So we've seen a team do that where it's like, hey, this is your ultimatum. Figure it out with him because we know he ain't the problem. Figure it out with him.
Yeah.
Or get the heck out of town. And essentially, they were always locked in on Caleb. They went Caleb, and Google be doing too much. Google had a football bounce on the screen randomly. I was like, what the That's called my ADHD be kicking my butt. I would say that's the Buffalo situation is more realistic than going all in Tennessee, though, because I don't think that's where they're at. And the Daboll hire might be really interesting there, but I think that he's in the process where I got to turn this quarterback into something, not this quarterback is something, and we need to add pieces to make him more. So we'll see what ends up happening.
My last question for you. And the reason I like doing this is because it actually gets to show, I think more than not, when we get together, you get to show more of your prowess on just your mind of football. And I actually really enjoy those conversations.
Ooh, Muzz was heated yesterday with that title of that video, wasn't it?
I mean, but they have to listen to the video.
You got to listen to the video. The title of the video was the question that was asked on social media.
Yeah, y'all
rage bait. I was like, I just titled the video, bro. I don't know.
So like we're having this conversation. We're saying, hey, a good tackle makes your edge lives easier. We saw Montez Sweat come up with 10 sacks this season.
Yeah.
You said Javon is not it. We know that there's some individuals like a Jeffrey Simmons that would make his life easier. And obviously there's some other big names. But if you could, and if it's not, then it's another video, another day. But think of it like when Pose first got here, he made a lot of small moves that had the potential to lead to bigger outcomes, but some of them just didn't. Is there any other tackles out there on some teams that could be in some interesting situations that would be able to provide sufficient pressure to be maybe a step above a Javon Dexter, but maybe not big name Jeffrey Simmons, stuff like that? You get what I'm saying? Am I framing that right?
Basically, would I trade for any other tackles around the league? I mean, listen, there's a bunch of tackles that I'd be interested in. The problem is usually when you find those guys, they're either young or on a deal right now, right? Or they're kind of where Grady Jarrett is, if they're available, right? Like that's good tackles you don't get rid of because of the pressure they create on the defensive line. Jeffrey Simmons is in a very interesting situation because Tennessee has nothing.
There's a lot of team with turnover right now.
Yeah, Tennessee, that's what I mean. Like Tennessee has nothing. So it's like maybe they would give up something to get something, right? Like I said, if you told me Tennessee called and said, we'll send you Jeffrey Simmons for DJ Moore and a 3rd round pick, done. You need more in the draft? Got it. Have at it, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great time. Thank you for playing the work version of our game. See, Jeffrey Simmons so good. I could be with the 25th pick in the 2nd round. I could be convinced to give up the 2nd round pick. Legitimately, I really could, because I think he's that talented. And I think he changes the team that much. I don't think there's anybody else that it's worth trading for out there. And realistically speaking, some of the guys that you could sign this offseason, I would rather see you draft. Like the guys that we've talked about on the defensive line that it was like trade for, go sign this guy. They are the elites of the elites. Right? We talked about Max Crosby, one of the best pass rushers in football. We talked about Trey Hendrickson, one of the best pass rushers in football when he's healthy and on the field. And maybe that's a year too late for that. I thought that was a good conversation that Hoodie had the other day about it being possibly a year too late.
Oh, man, I thought that was great.
Pie in the sky situation where the cap would explode and you would be like, we better win this year. Myles Garrett. Yeah, I mean, like they are the best. Two of those guys are the best pass rushers we've ever seen in the NFL.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? So it's like Jeffrey Simmons is arguably the best defensive tackle on a terrible team that is going to waste his talents. And I think that says more about how good he is, because you look at the rest of that defensive line and you're like, meh. So it's that much more how good he is being an interior guy. So like, I don't think that you just go out there and you give up pieces for a Joe Schmo or a decent guy, right? Like maybe you try to make some moves to make cap work and you get a guy back. But like the guys we're talking about trading for are elite level players that they walk in and you go, well, it's your defense now. So I would say no. If outside of some of those big names, you got to be good at the draft. And you've got a guy on your defense that found Khalil Mack, that found Trey Hendrickson, that developed Cam Jordan into an even better player, that found Cam Jordan. I believe he was on the team when they drafted Cam Jordan. Like, you've got that guy on this roster. The best option for you moving forward truly might just be to go out in the draft and let DA find that guy.
Yeah, that was going to be my last question. Like, are we just really drafting development away? Because everything I'm hearing is if they're not the best of the best, then we're kind of good enough to make it work. But clearly they put us in the Super Bowl contention category without making much change. Outside of that, we need to start building this farm system and start retooling and building that along the way, because we have some older pieces. That's kind of where our conversations have kind of like been
if you're gonna be all in, you got to be good at both anyway. Right, the Rams made it to the NFC title game not because they went all in on Matthew Stafford, who just happened to have an MVP season, but because they were able to get younger on that defensive line and be aggressive. Right, like I'm so young on my team while still having really good veterans that I can go sign DeAndre Hopkins. By the way, void years. You push that money off. That's called kick the can. We used to play the game as a kid. If you was real poor and just walking down the street. You just kick that can down the road. Boop, there you go. Like that's realistically the scenarios that you get yourselves into. And eventually that's going to be the Bears.
Yeah.
And I think it's time for you to be there this year, because your Super Bowl windows aren't years long. It's not decades long. Now, how you create those long Super Bowl windows is by drafting well and paying big names and adding into the contract.
You're not taking the OKC Thunder approach to this. This is not basketball. That was with the
Thunder though, right? Like you had all your youth, but you don't win a championship till you go get Alex Caruso. You have to have that mix of veteran and youth.
That was a 5-year plan for them.
You know what I mean? Like you have to have that. Yeah. And so I think you've done a lot where there's a ton of youth on this team. You're not paying, hopefully Isaac Trapillo is able to come back, but you're not paying him for another 3 years. You're not paying Caleb Williams for another 2 years. You're not paying Rome Odunze for another 2 years. Luther Burden for another 3 years. Colston Loveland for another 4 years, because you get the 5th-year option with Colston Loveland. You're coming up on Darnell Wright here in a little bit. You're going to have to figure some things out. You're going to have to shed some money coming up the next couple of years anyway. But here's what I don't want to see the Bears do, and it's what we've continued to do. You go out and you spend money and you sign pieces that are man pieces. You're going to spend the money if you're going to sign pieces, if you're going to go after guys. Go after guys that you're going to get a return on investment in. Tyler Daboll's $50 million for bleh. Grady Jarrett, I think you got a return on investment as far as the leader in the locker room, something they really desperately needed. But play-wise on the field, it hasn't been great this year. Montez Sweat, have you gotten a return on investment? Maybe. Maybe you're starting to feel that with the season that you had this season. Javon Dexter has not met the expectation for where he was drafted. Tremaine Edmonds maybe showed you a little return on investment. Like the defensive side of this ball has been a lot of like we throwing money at the problem, but it ain't good money. So start spending good money. If you're going to spend money anyway, spend good money.
Spend good money. Spend good money. I mean, but those are the type of moves, though, to be honest with you, that get GMs fired.
Yeah, listen, if you miss,
literally.
If
like
you miss,
that works on both sides of the ball. I'm gonna use this one, and maybe I'm trying to make this fit because it's so relevant and recent. But the move to get JJ McCarthy and move off from Sam Darnold was the right move.
No,
when you could hear me out. It was the right move when you consider that Sam Darnold was the backup that they found success with. It was the right move when you consider that you got a very equal, had an equal level of success with Kirk Cousins. And people feel like Kirk Cousins is mid. I think he's good. You think he's mid, tomato, whatever, right? But so if you feel the same way about Sam Darnold and you're like, hey, I know I don't want to commit Kirk Cousins money to him because he won so many games. I need to draft, get younger, and then I still have the weapons around him for us to make noise. They still won 9 games, if I'm not mistaken. They were 9-8.
They were 9-8.
Right? That's the right move logically. It didn't work out. 9 ended up being trash, but he's also very young. He didn't play his first rookie season at all because he got hurt. So who knows what he can do? But now Sam Darnold is in the Super Bowl, and you're like, yo, this is a fireable offense.
That's a fireable
and
offense.
Guess what? You're not wrong. It is a fireable offense.
Here's what I will say. I said it was a fireable offense the second they left. I said, you let NFL quarterbacks lead a building. One of them won you 14 games last year. You better be right. You better be right.
And they let 3 leave, and 2 of them.
You let 2 of them leave. You let Daniel Jones leave, who ended up. And by the way, like when people are like, "Well, Daniel Jones didn't play a snap," he's in practice. They saw Daniel Jones.
Practice.
You saw Daniel Jones play. So you let Daniel Jones leave, who went to the Colts, tore his Achilles. So we don't know what he's going to be coming back. But he was balling while he was out there. And then you let Sam Darnold leave, who's now going to the Super Bowl. It's a fireable offense. Now maybe you don't fire Kevin O'Connell, who I think you could. But I tell you what, boy, Quay Feodosha-Mensah, those drafts don't look great.
Right.
There's some fireable offenses up there.
Here's the thing. You could make a move for a big name. You could spend that good money. And other things could go wrong and it don't work.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to go back, well, now we can't fix this because we got so much money committed here and we should have just did. And that's what the fans are going to do. And that's what the outcry is going to be. And that's the risk of doing it that way.
I'll say this. If Jeffrey Simmons don't work, the world about to end.
I got you.
Jeffrey Simmons a dog, bro. If Jeffrey Simmons come here and don't work in DA's system, just call it a league. Hey, somebody about to bang in a field. That's what's about to happen.
Because, fans are very hypercritical and they don't put things into context. Like Jeffrey Simmons, this is all hypothetical, by the way. I don't wish injury on anyone. But we could get a Jeffrey Simmons. We could even get a Max Crosby, hypothetically. And then somebody on the other end could get injured. And now Max Crosby or Jeffrey Simmons is not able to give us the production or have the impact that we want. And we'll be like, or the fans will be like, well, you shouldn't have did that. You could have just drafted. No, we took a big swing. Someone got hurt. That's what happens. That's the risk. That's football.
Yeah.
But no one gives them that grace anymore.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think the Bears do a good job of kind of letting guys do enough and get enough rope to hang themselves in certain situations. Ryan Poles has been here 5 years at this point. He's had one good one. Like he's going to get the opportunity to build under Ben Johnson. So I think that's not something that you got to worry about if you're a Bears fan. And I think most fans are sitting in the realm where I'm at, where it's like the Super Bowl window should be open. Go in. Make it happen. You got to find ways to make this team better next season. When your Super Bowl window's open, you take bigger swings. That's the realistic scenario of it. And some of those big swings are expensive swings, which there's not a lot of Super Bowl teams. I can guarantee you, maybe, I don't know, what's no, probably not. Well, maybe. What does Seattle's cap look like?
That was a great question. I was just thinking about the Patriots. Like the Patriots took a swing, and it really is just kind of all. I think it's more developing and coaching, but
well, there was a ton of developing and coaching. Seattle salary cap. Seattle is how much are they over? I hate when this mother don't just tell me the answer I'm looking for. Just tell me the answer. Seattle has the 5th most cap space going into 2026. Oh, because they got to re-sign everybody. Yeah. So they took a big swing this year. What's 2025 like? Let me look. They still with 12. They have $15 million under the cap. Shout out to them. Good way to build it. I don't think that's happening here, especially because you're already so high in the cap. But and the Patriots got to be under the cap because of how young they are. So listen, I would love to win at the right time, but you got the money invested already. So we'll see what ends up happening. Let us know how you guys feel on everything we talked about in the comments below. This is supposed to be a 10-minute video. It's 35 minutes. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love for the pettiest fan alive, Mr. P. Kids. Y'all know if we get on a video together, we're going to make some long-form content no matter what. Appreciate y'all for showing love as always, man. Stay tapped in with everything we got coming here at the Windy City Breeze. Bet down. One love. Peace.